All right, everybody. We are on. We are live streaming. It's just going to take me a minute so I can make sure all the audio sounds are going well. And as soon as I see that, I will know that we're ready to rock and roll. All right, we are ready to rock and roll, guys. Hello, everybody out there. You might hear a little in the background, and that is Kalina cutting the names for everyone who sent in a question. And that is going to be put into a box and drawn by name per random. So get your manifestation skills on. Now, I have seen a few people drop questions in the live chat, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you. If you did not use the link from the video previously, we are not accepting any questions from the live chat. And it's because everyone's here. They want to communicate. They want to have fun. They want to talk. But when it comes time for Kalina to get the questions to ask for Aridif or Treb, it's almost impossible to keep up with the live chat, because as it goes so fast and she scrolls up to get the other question, then boom, it pulls right back down to the last comment. So no questions that weren't already in the Google form from the last video that we announced today will be done. And we also wanted to let you guys know there are a few questions that actually had to be thrown out. And we explained through written details and verbally on the video last time, the formats of the question have to be very specific. And they're specific so that we can do this on the fly and so that everyone gets a chance to ask. And we had two different problems. One problem was that some people asked multiple questions within questions. So there was 2, 3, or 4 questions in one question sheet, and we couldn't have that, so we had to chuck those. And we also had people putting in questions 2, 3, or 4 times, asking different questions each time. And it's only allowed 1 per person, and it's only allowed for the energy for that. So those people also got all of them but 1 thrown out. And the one that was kept was at Kalina's discretion. Because, and if it's for our discretion, Kalina or myself, we always pick ones that are beneficial for the collective and not personal. So this is kind of the idea for the next time that we do this. Just remember, hold on one second, guys. Yeah, that's fine. I'll get it. No, it's fine. I'll get it in a minute. So the next time we guys do this, please go back to the last video called The Open Forum is Back. Read the paragraph in the description, listen to the video in the verbal description, and also read the paragraph that's written above the form that you fill out. All 3 of those tell you the same thing, but they say it in different ways. And we know a lot of people's first language is not English, and we know that when you're reading directions in a language that's not your mother language, that it's much more difficult. So it's not a big issue, guys. We're not upset with anybody. We're not mad at anybody. We're not frustrated or shaming anybody. We just want to let you guys know that those questions did get skipped, and we're sorry we have to do that, but we've got to be fair to everybody. We've got to get everybody a chance to be able to ask their question here for free. Most people who come here because they can't afford to have a session, because they can't afford to join Patreon, or they're excited but not excited enough to add that energy of finances. So that's why we do this, so that every person, no matter what your age, sex, ethnicity, beliefs, or financial situation is, still are on equal grounding. And in fact, the fun thing for me and Kalina is that by Aridif and Treb picking out the pieces of paper with a name on it, that actually gives manifestational energy back to you guys, because Treb and Aridif both have their own perspective, their own energy, their own everything, but they always reflect back what the collective desires, what the collective needs, and what the individual needs. That means that you guys are the ones who are actually choosing to get your name drawn out or to not get your name drawn out. So if you have good manifestational skills, you have a better chance. If you don't, practice. And one good way to practice with something like this is just, I'm excited to have this question answered. Don't place a lot of energy into like scenarios that you might make up in your mind. Don't place a lot of energy into the idea of it might got picked, it might not get picked. just the excitement of being able to have that question answered and the excitement of the help that will give you can and often is enough.
Some of the questions are so related that even if it's not your question that gets drawn, it's so similar. It's like you're having your question answered anyway. So I've seen multiple of those. So don't be surprised if you have your question answered anyway. That happens all the time, especially their collective themes. And I just also want to say hi, everybody, because I didn't get a chance to say hi to you.
Yeah, and Kalina will raise her voice when she asks the questions because we see her voice is a little lighter. We're trying to split the microphone between us so that everybody gets the opportunity to have their questions answered and have the ability to hear them. Some entities that come in that are not Treb or Aridif are lighter or stronger in the sound. But usually Treb and Aridif are both equally pretty loud as it goes. One thing else, too, that I wanted to talk about, the live stream that happened today, I had got a Facebook message saying, why was this entity so soft-spoken? Why was this entity not able to really communicate as clearly as the one before was? And that's the thing. When I'm not channeling Treb, Aridif, the Nihal, or Metatron, when I'm not directly making my own personal energetic connection to an entity who I know how to channel and I know how to bring their energy into me, and let's say it's a secondary connection through Treb or Aridif, because those are the only two who ever really connect their energy with others, then basically those energies are only going to come through me in the way that they can. First of all, they're going through a delayed connection. So it's like a game of telephone. Remember in the middle school where you used to say, hey, I want a cheeseburger in someone's ear, and by the time it got at the end of it, it was like, hey, have you ever been to Nuremberg? And it's like, what? So it's a delayed, lighter, and less efficient connection than Treb Aridif. You notice that Treb and Aridif are pretty sturdy in the way that they communicate that energy, especially with Aridif's energy as laser focused as his has been in the last year or two. And you'll notice that when that connection comes through, the only time they ever have to look for a word is if it's a word that is completely in the back of my vocabulary for the English language, or if I'm having a tough day for that energy. But even then, they still find that energy and answer fairly quickly. But when I'm channeling one of these entities that I've never channeled before, or that I only channel once in a while, it's definitely a whole different ballgame. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see a lot of your guys' comments. My laptop screen is very small, and the big screen that is across the room is angled in a way I can't see it very much. But I do see a bunch of you guys talking, sharing, exchanging on that chat. And I really just want to say thank you guys so much for that. I love you. I'm going to try to blow up my screen. There we go. Now I can see some messages. One sec. I blew it up too big and the messages disappeared. All right. So wonderful. A lot of you guys are here. First time here. Savita, definitely not your first time here. How you doing, Savita? All the rest of you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for connecting. Farzad's in the house. What's up, buddy? I see a bunch of you guys here. Jamie and Cerise and Kathy and Fincastle Underground, our good friend William. I also wanted to tell you guys also that the 22nd of the month, which is Monday, Fincastle Underground, one of our good friends, one of our dear friends who also has a YouTube channel, is going to be interviewing me on his channel. Now, he does politics on his channel, and William himself is not even really a conservative, I would call him. I would call him conservative values, but very libertarian ideals. And a lot of that libertarian, not the party, political party, but the idea of everyone being equal, free, and living by the rights of the Constitution and American government. Those types of things I really resonate with. And he's a really great guy. He's got a lot of great stuff on there. If you enjoy the type of politics that are more conservative, go join them. If you don't, I always suggest you should go join them. I always listen to both the views that resonate with me and that don't. Like whenever we watch news, even though we know every major news station sucks and lies to people, we still go to Fox News and CNN because we want to hear the liberal and the conservative side and the alternative news. Is we do more than that than any time else. But yeah, it's really amazing, guys. So Finn Castle Underground, who's here, is really excited. And he's really a great dude. So go check his channel out and check for me tomorrow. I believe if everything goes well, I might actually be uploading that interview on this channel also. But I suggest if you want to see it sooner and want to see it in an awesome way, go check out William at Finn Castle Underground on the YouTube channel. It's amazing. I'm going to be talking about censorship. One of the things that have happened that I talked to you guys a couple of videos about is how YouTube's restructuring their own search engine algorithms. Whenever you put UFO in, you used to get people like Secure Team 10, like myself, like all these people who have lived in the ET fields forever. Now you type in UFO, and all of a sudden you get CNN, Fox News. What is that really crazy one called? It's like BuzzFeed, that's the one. All those types of things come to the top, and you've got to go pages and pages and pages away just to get real content. So we have a petition going around about that I started. William shared that on his channel, and I'm going to be going to talk about spirituality, about my beliefs, but a lot about censorship, and in my opinion, the human right to speak their mind and heart and do so at any level in any capacity possible, because in my opinion, that's a manifestation of speaking your truth and working from the throat chakra and sharing energy and being able to manifest what you want in your life. So that's an important thing, guys. Anyway, we're here tonight, guys. We've got 50 of you watching. For those of you who might have missed this, don't worry. We're going to have another one. We're going to try, just like we're trying to get every week a Galactic weekly channeling video. We're going to try to get this open forum every month or every other month for the rest of the year, which means as soon as we get the link for the next one, which should be within the next week or so, we'll make a short 2-3 minute YouTube video saying, hey guys, here's the link for the new one. Please follow these directions so your questions don't get skipped, and give you a brand new link for the next one. That way anyone who missed it will have the ability to pop it in and put in that energy, because that's what we're excited about too, is sharing with you guys and really getting the momentum of this channel back to where it was back in 2015 and 2016, and really put our own hearts and excitements back in. I'm going to take a drink, guys. My throat's already getting riled up. I could get that Aridif energy going through real quick. So give me 1 second, guys. Perfect. All right, guys. So this is what's happening. This is what we're doing. This is how it works. Everybody who's got a question in, we really are excited to see that. And don't worry, guys, if you didn't know about the rules and regulations, no harm, no foul. That's why we set this structure, so that people who don't know about it or who don't, have that energy, it's not a big deal. Like I said, we're not upset about it. It's just unfortunate. If that was the question, your question might have got skipped, or if you didn't get a question, then you still will get it next time. So don't worry. And hello. It's wonderful to see you on there too. Caffeinated poison. All right. Wonderful. Absolutely, guys. We're excited to be here, guys. We're excited to do this. Anything else, sweetie, that you wanted to anything you wanted to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to welcome everybody here and all of the new people we see. I'm seeing a lot of new names that I've not seen in the chat before, so just wanted to give a big hearty welcome to all of you guys. And we're very, very excited, and we want to do this. We're going to try to do this every month, right, with a free open forum.
Yeah, every month or every other month. Yeah, I was just telling them about that we're really going to try to get that moving in the right direction. Yeah. Absolutely. And sorry, I'm reading the comments too as you're talking. That's why. Yeah, and that's the thing too, guys. with our live chat, we ask that nobody swears because they can demonetize our videos that way. And we only make about $100 a month on our videos out of all the 250 some videos we make. But we still like to get that extra money to come in per month for our videos. So please, no swearing. The only time we're going to boot anyone from our chat is if anyone's disrespectful to other people or downright attacking other people. But if you share your opinions and you're doing it from a place of excitement, we don't care if you're typing 1 million times a minute. We don't care if you have 1 million different opinions that are different than our own. And we don't care what's being said in the chat. We love you guys. We definitely don't want to censor anybody's voice. And that's what we believe in, is the ability to speak your mind and speak your heart. The only reason we ask for not to swear is because YouTube does that, and YouTube is really, really bad at censoring. So we're trying to get that set up where we can get a little release from that. One thing else about that censorship, if anyone knows Tyler from Secure Team 10, he has 2 million subscribers here on YouTube. He's one of the first people that had an effect from this. And actually, I used him and his YouTube channel as an example. So if anyone knows him or gets in contact with him or communicates with him on a regular basis, please let him know that this petition exists. Just let him know I've communicated with him on Facebook and on Twitter, so he can check it out, Rob Gauthier. And I've sent that to him because if he puts that on his channel and he gets 1 out of every 10 people for 200,000 signatures, it might not make YouTube change their algorithms, but what it will do is put that energy out into the collective even stronger, and it'll give us an example to show the whole world, look, YouTube subscribers, 200,000 YouTube users didn't want it censored. They're still censoring. So it's more of a principle thing. I never expect corporate people to do what's best for the people, only what's best for the pocketbook. But I'll digress. You'll hear more about that interview going soon, guys.
And I agree with Chris D. We also love Secure Team very much.
Yes, we do. Me and Kalina are big supporters of his.
And we know he's been having some sort of a hard time lately. And if you guys know him, just let him know that we're sending him all of our love, because he seems like a really nice guy and he's contributed a lot to the community. So Tyler, if you're out there, if you ever hear us, we love you and we appreciate all you do, and we hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, and actually, Fincastle Underground, William just made a comment, and they censored his comment too. So I just had to let it through on the chat to get it through.
Really?
This is the type of crazy stuff.
It for me.
It will up on the big screen.
Oh.
Yeah, if you Control Plus, it'll blow up the text so you can see it a little better too. Yeah, and if you need to switch to your account so you can talk as you, that's fine too. I know you won't. You'll be busy doing your stuff anyway. So
yeah, it's hard to see the computer. I have all kinds of weird pregnancy symptoms, and one of them is like my eyesight has gotten much worse. It's really crazy. So it's like I'm always squinting trying to see things, and I haven't bothered to go to the optometrist about it because it keeps changing. I'm going to buy glasses every week.
We didn't know in pregnancy your eyes can change.
They can. There's been so
every minute.
It's funny. It's really weird. It's like a little comedy show going on in the body, all the weird things. It's so worth it. And I'm going to be on my 3rd trimester on Monday, guys. So 3rd
trimester, guys. We're getting close.
We're about there.
We are. All right, guys. So is there anything else that I'm thinking about or that I'm not thinking about before we get started so we can rock and roll with the channeling? Do you want to talk to everyone while I do my neutralize, or you just want to cut it down and finish doing what you're doing?
I got to finish up with making sure all the names and everything are in. So what we'll do is, how long do you need to neutralize?
I'm always 5 to 7 minutes. It takes me to neutralize. And for those of you who are just coming into our channel, we know that there have been quite a few people who've just first seen this YouTube channel from the video on Gaia TV that was done on the interview with Extra Dimensional. If you've never come to our channel, we mute down the mic, shut off the camera for 5 to 7 minutes so I can neutralize my energy, because I'm a deep trance channeler and I need to go deep. So in order to do that, I've got to put my own energy to a very neutral state. Once I'm able to do that, then we'll be back and we'll start channeling almost immediately afterwards. But the only reason we're telling you guys this, there'll be new people coming in and say, hey, where'd the live stream go? And if you can help us with that, and let them know, hey, they'll be back in just a couple minutes. They're neutralizing. That would be real helpful to us. We hate shutting down the stream, but all I do is I sit, I drink water, I sing, and sometimes I burp real loud. So it's not something you guys want to see here anyway. And it's, for me, it's...
So you're doing Miranda Sings impression.
Yeah, I'm doing the Miranda Sings impression, sure. For me, it's just more comfortable to do it without eyes and ears on me, so that I can get through it all quicker. Otherwise, my mind will go like, hey, what, are they listening to how horrible I sound? Stuff like that.
No, I actually enjoy it. He'll sing Golden Monkey because it helps to kind of neutralize his energy.
Yes.
And then I guess it just kind of calms and soothes you into a meditative
Chini. I'll get her when I'm done. Yeah, and that does. Anyone who's never heard of Aaron Freeman, he's the lead singer and one of the 2 founding members of Ween, W-E-E-N, my favorite group ever in the history of all things ever. So if you, sorry, that was the TV playing back our live stream. If you've never heard Aaron Freeman's solo album called Freeman, then go check out a video here on YouTube called The Golden Monkey by Aaron Freeman. Amazing song. That's what I neutralize to. And when I do, I'm like humming and oming and doing all that right to the sound of that. So definitely something cool, guys. What else? Anything else?
I think everybody, we're all just ready to get started. We're excited.
All right, guys. You guys are excited. We're excited. We are going to mute down, and we are going to rock and roll, guys. We'll be back 5 to 7 minutes.
I'll be on chat, too. Do we have something that lets people know coming in that
Nope.
I'm not gone?
Nope. That's why I asked everybody to keep an eye on it, and you, too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If there's anybody there, I'll ask Kalina to drop a text every minute or so, and feel free, guys, if anyone asks where we're at, tell them we're neutralizing. All right, guys, I'm shutting it down for 5 to 7 minutes. We'll be back, and when we do, Aridif and Treb with your questions and answers for you guys. We love you. We'll see you in 5 to 7. All right, everybody. We're back. I'm going to just double check, make sure the sound is working before I start channeling here. La, 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 la. All right, everybody. We're back. You want to mute that, sweetie? Double check, make sure the sound is working. Yeah, no, it's fine. All right, guys. So the sound's good. It's working. Three things before I start. The first thing is we heard somebody had got banned on another person's thing, and that's a sad thing. But if you reach out to Ivan Teller himself to speak to him about that, he's communicated with me before via Facebook, and he's a very nice guy. If you let him know what happened, I'm sure he'll make room for you. Everyone has different rules and regulations, and that's another thing that I respect as a part of freedom. You also have the freedom to run your own organization in the way that you see fit, and if people don't like it, they don't have to buy from you, they don't have to get your service, la la la. So please feel free. I know Ivan would probably take back the ban from that, most likely.
Do you want to hear something funny though?
Speak up.
I sat down on my phone and my butt almost accidentally banned somebody. I don't know if it was like, you sure it had a message like, I'm sure I would have removed them. Like, whoa, gosh, God.
Yeah, Kalina almost banned someone with their butt. That's great. That's really
I thought
great.
It was funny.
Maybe that's what happened to you.
But
We'll never know.
Maybe it's a message. Maybe you got butt banned. It's like you have butt calls, you have butt banned.
Well, that's definitely one. So yeah, please reach out to him. He seems like a very nice guy. I've only talked to him a couple times ever. All that stuff. Yeah, so not a big deal. 1 second too, guys. Yeah, I wasn't sure about Chimi screaming, yeah. Anyway, guys, sorry, a cat's gonna scream, and that's part of it. Second thing I wanted to talk to you about, in the chat, it's a super chat. There is a $sign there, so anyone who feels that they want to donate can always do that. If you don't like donating through YouTube, you can always go to our website through PayPal, or we take Bitcoin donations too on the website. For any of you guys who like to do that, you don't have to donate. This is for free for everybody. It's just something that if you feel drawn to do that, if you're excited to do that, do. And the third thing is we wanted to let you guys know kind of how this works. I've got my little can here with all your guys' names in it. Oh, that's the microphone. So all your names are there, Aridif and Treb will draw. But one of the things about the questions themselves, when you ask a question to Treb or Aridif, the way that they read the energy is going to be a little different. I'm going to close my eyes and breathe a little here, guys, so that I can stay neutral. I'm already starting to get a little excited, and that defeats the whole neutralizing thing. So basically, you're going to ask a question, and that question connects with all these different parts of your own energy, chakras, emotions, mental, all the different kinds of energy there are, and they go up to the higher self, and then they connect to any being who's connecting to this idea of the question, whether it's a guide, a person you're in a relationship with, family, etc. And when all the energy ends where the question ends, then Aridif and Treb pick up that information, extract it, and give you back an answer from their perspective. And this means that they're only going to look at your energy and where the energy lands, not someone else's energy. So if one of your guys' questions was, hey, why does my neighbor hate me so much? Why is he rude? Why does he always be loud? They're not going to be able to answer that because they're not getting permission from that person to answer about their own specific energy. But if it's about your relationship dynamic with that neighbor and why both of you can't get along, then there's an answer that can be had. But the reason I explain why this works, I tell people who've ever had 1 session or 100 sessions or no sessions, and they just ask through open forum, the more excited that you guys are to receive the answers, the more in alignment their answer is going to be with that excitement. So you're going to be able to receive it excitedly. They'll be able to share it to you in a way that will get you excited. Not all questions are easy questions to answer in a very exciting way. For example, a lot of people have really bad stuff going on in their lives, and even asking the question's hard because it's very heavy energy. But they still give you that energy back in the way you do. So try to be excited, not necessarily if it's a heavy thing to have the answer, but just be excited that you're able to ask a question and get the energy back. The same thing that'll help your name get drawn here through manifestations. So anyway, guys, we love you. I'm going to take another breath. I'm going to take another drink, and then we're going to rock and roll, guys. So give me one more second as I go grab my drink.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm just going to explain, for those of you that are just joining us and you're new here, we don't take questions from the chat. These are questions that we draw that we previously put out a questionnaire form.
A Google form.
Right, it's a Google form, and then about 15 minutes before we start, we cut it off. But since we're going to be doing this every month or almost every month, we're going to be putting, when you see the premiere, we'll be putting out the form where you can fill that out. And that's just so I can keep up with the questions. It doesn't get missed, because a lot of times I'll try to scroll up, try to read the question, and then someone makes a comment and it flips me back down, or I just can't find it, or I overlook it. So this is just a way for us to like gather all the questions from the collective, and then we put all your names down on a piece of paper, and then we cut them up and then put it into a little tin jar and have Treb or Aridif draw it for you. So it helps to manifest, helps you to manifest what questions get answered in the collective. And we take questions for the collective from you, but also personal questions too. We don't ban the personal questions in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah, a lot of channelers who do open forum things only allow collective questions, but that defeats the purpose. People are going through personal experiences. Right. They need personal answers, so we understand. And if you have a question for the collective, that's awesome too, because what helps for all helps for all, and what helps for one helps for all. So, all right, guys, we're going to get started. Give me 1 second. I'm going to just share something here with Kalina before we get started, and then we're going to rock and roll. Love you.
Love you too, baby.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for everything. We thank you guys for being here. We love you guys. We're very appreciative for everybody's support, everybody's energy. This is a nice turnout here, too, with everyone who's here chatting and everyone here who's excited. I don't see the specific number of those in the chat, so I'm going to take a peek at that real quick. Okay, so we got 58 people watching as we speak, which is amazing. Which is really great, guys. So just enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the chat room, guys. I'm going to take one more drink of water, and then we're going to rock and roll. So we are going to do this to this. Oh.
Lily's moving a lot.
Lily gets excited. Our little baby in Kalina's belly right now gets very excited when channeling comes. So she's wiggle button right now. All right, everybody. We love you. See you on the other side. Oh, yes. Thank you, William. Make sure. That is something else I forgot to say, too, real quick. We just broke 9,000 subscribers. We kind of have been hung right around 8,000 for almost a year and a half, just because we haven't been putting out a ton of material, just something every couple months, little pieces here and there, someone's personal session they share. But now that we have the content going, and you guys know that there's going to be something, if you're watching and haven't subscribed, feel free to. I would say it's going to help in the analytics of YouTube. It does, but just not as much as it used to before. But still, subscriptions are good. That way you guys know everything that's going on. Likes are there too. And if you ring the little bell by the subscribe thing, that means every time we make a video, every time we release anything, every time we do a premiere or a live stream, you'll get an email instantly. So if you want to know everything that we're doing, that's the way to find out, guys. And once we break 10,000 subscribers, we're going to make a video that we broke the 10,000 mark and give a free 30-minute channeling That's worth over $200 to whoever is randomly picked from all of our 10,000 subscribers. So remember, guys, if you like our work and want to subscribe, do it. And once we reach 10K, we're going to give away over $200 worth of session for that person who gets picked. So we love you guys, and I'm going to take one more drink, one more breath, and then we're really going to get going.
Don't worry, Aridif will make you drink more.
By the time I'm done, Aridif will have me drink the whole thing and run into the bathroom. So, all right, guys, love you. See you on the other side.
Love you, sweetie.
Love you too. Thank you, sweetie, for doing this too. Doing the administration role is a huge part. Absolutely.
Can't do it without you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, guys, here we go. Greetings to all. This is Aridif, that is A-R-I-D-I-F, and this is spelled. We understand that all of you have queries in this day, but before diving in to those queries, there are 4 things in which we wish to express. The first, above all things expressed within this day, to know, feel, and to perceive that you are loved, is of the utmost importance in our perspective. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within our greatest excitement, to co-create with each and every one of you, individually and collectively, in this moment and all moments of your linear time. Thirdly, greetings, Kalina, and grateful for the co-creative part in your co-creation of this exchange as well.
Greetings to you too, Arda. Thank you for you and Treb being here with us tonight. And we love you, and you are loved.
Yes, of course. Fourthly, we wish to express that all of you going into your own experiences in your last 3 years have been roller coasters of upwards and downwards mental, emotional, and spiritual experiences. In all of those experiences, often you gauge the experience itself by how much you feel elevated in your spiritual experience, how much you feel elevated in your emotional happiness. And although we do understand, this is why most humans experience the idea of only having growth through excitement, or only having growth through elevation of mind and emotion. We wish to suggest that all of you look at the parts of your experience in where your energy has dived downward, or where you have felt disconnected, and after re-achieving whatever form of connection that can be experienced, after that initial disconnection, that in and of itself, although it's slight upward stance going towards a better feeling, is still growth within itself. The lowest point, without going upward or even spiraling for several days, weeks, or months, is also beneficial to the soul, and also an expansive soul essence, an expansive spiritual essence of an experience for Earth Collective. We also wish to express that in your growth, in all areas of your growth, we find great excitement, as you are part of all that is. We are a part of all that is. As you are growing, we grow as well. We congratulate you for your growth, and we thank you for ours. We will begin the queries. One moment. Yes, of course.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So the first question comes from Jamie, and this is actually a question for Treb.
Yes, one moment. We will hydrate Rob and continue.
In the meantime, I'm going to search for Jamie's question while you bring Treb in.
Good evening, Kalina.
Good evening, Treb. How are you tonight?
Yes, I am doing very well. And how are you all doing this evening?
We are doing excellent. I'm doing excellent. And for anybody who isn't familiar with Treb, he's known as the benevolent reptilian human. I'm messing up the title for you, Treb. Sorry. The
Yes.
hybrid humanoid. That's what tripped me up, the hybrid part. Yeah, but he's a good guy. So anybody who's worried about reptilians, don't worry. Treb's a good guy. So anyway, Jamie has a question for you, Treb. And the question is, hi, Treb. I have found my soulmate in this incarnation. This process has been very difficult and hard for me. I would like to know about your other incarnation, our other incarnations together. Much love and thank you.
Yes. As you see the entity that is your soulmate in this incarnation, there are other experiences in other lifetimes that both of you have shared. Two of the lives that we see in your linear past that are past versions of your life are versions of Earth that both of you were human and both of you lived in very romantic and deeply connected experiences. The first energy is one that is South America in the time period that you call 1680 region of your AD time, and that is where both of you are living as normal, indigenous woods persons, and both of you lived with excitements for music, dancing, and singing. Although both of you desired to look at medicinal healing, to look at ayahuasca versions of healing with plant medicine, the true excitement was to create music and dance in order to heal and in order to separate negative spirits from other human beings. In that area of energy, both of you were romantic with each other, both of you were able to have children with one another, and both of you were able to live for very long times and very exciting lives. Another energy that we perceive is that in the time period that is 17 and 50 region, both of you are raised in the area that is now called United Kingdom, more specifically in the island of Britain. And in that island, both of you were close and romantically connected, but there was always a problem that was very difficult for the sexuality with both of you. Because of your sexuality and the amount of attention that both of your families were able to pay attention before marriage, you often had to sneak around your family's backs and have intercourse relationships, and also you were not able to have sex for very long times, so you were in sexual but not romantic relationships with other humans as well. But once you became married, this was no longer an issue, but it did take a great time to heal that sexual drift and then connect with each other and your children as well.
Aww.
Yes!
You want to draw the next question?
Yes!
We'll see who gets this next question.
Mhm.
All right, so we have a question coming from our fearless heart. I'm so tongue-tied today. I don't know why. Let's see. So I'm going to search for the question, and then I'll let you know if it's for you or for Aridif. I have to go through about 50 questions, so that's why it takes me a while to find sometimes. Here we go. Okay, so our fearless heart didn't give a preference, so whichever of you or Aridif want to answer. So our fearless heart says, I've been told that some higher placed Pleaidians want to work with me on healing, which is apparently my life purpose. Is this true, please? Thank you and namaste.
Yes, one moment, please. Well, back without hesitation or delay it again. This is Aridif. First of all, yes, greetings. First of all, as you are perceiving this construct as your entire life's purpose, we would express that, yes, it is possible for this to be a life experience, but our own perspective of life journeys, pathways, what your role in human experience is meant to be, is very directly related to your own interpretation of that idea. For example, before entering your incarnation as a human in this lifetime, one of your decisions was to work with Pleaidian energies so that if the lower fractal consciousness did desire and its free will took its own energy to the place of possibility of working on energetic healing, sound vibration healing, or even hands-on forms of healing, that it could occur. The natural pathways within your own system were open to that experience. The energy of those guides that would support you and co-create with you from the Pleiades also were in alignment. Your own journey was taken into this area due to the nature of your own free will. Let us express this in larger terms. An oversoul construct of energy, multiple fractal consciousnesses that we would call entities. And those entities are the part of yourself that you are in within your physical body, known as the lower fractal consciousness, as well, and in summation to the energy of your higher fractal consciousness. So both your lower self and higher self are the entire entity that you are. The higher self supports this energy. The higher self helps lay foundations for this creation to occur. But the lower fractal consciousness dictates whether it does or does not occur. All of you within your free will have that opportunity. And if you turn away from something that was predetermined before this incarnation, something that was set to your advantage before this incarnation, it is not a stain against your soul. It is not hurting the oversoul itself. It does not hurt the higher fractal consciousness either. The fundamental manifestation of your pathway is only involved with your excitement. And if your excitement still remains to work with Pleaidians for the benefit of human beings, then yes, we highly suggest that you follow that pathway. And if it is continuing a great excitement within you, then yes, that is your path. Any moment your excitement shifts, we always suggest that you follow that excitement, regardless of the amount of excitement that is held within yourself or the degree in which you must divert your path in order to take place with that excitement. If you are to dismiss all of your excitements, it can close doors or miss possible open doors to have greater, better, and deeper experiences, not only in your new excitement path, but also the path that you are already on, where it opens much more doors. In this way, the higher self always assists with that excitement. We have always placed examples as the higher fractal consciousness is the person holding the laser pointer, and your lower fractal consciousness is the cat or dog that chases that little red dot. And that red dot itself is excitement. If you follow that excitement, you will never be left unsatiated in your experience. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
All right, Aridif, just do the next question.
As you ask the query, we will hydrate Rob's throat and continue.
Okay. The next question is coming from Nitu, and I'm going to look for Nitu's question. Takes me a while to find them sometimes. There we go. And this question's for you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
And Nitu says, I have possibly been talking to my departed sister Rupi and a Pleiadian mate partner named Eric. He might have said that after the ascension, he would be able to physically show up. Is it true that I'm connecting and speaking with these beings? And can you tell me more about Eric and our relationship?
Yes, first of all, you are connecting with entities that are in alignment with your co-creative terms. The identity of this being, we do not perceive names for, but we do perceive one entity who is of your high fourth density Pleaidian construct of energy, and another that is a human being who has passed. That being is in alignment with the entity that you perceive as a brother. This entity also carries a great vibration of co-creation and communication with you, especially in that of the last 3 months of your experience. Now, what can be said of ascension and the energy in which it can create an experience for you to open more direct dialogue with humans who have passed and other beings? This energy is correct. Once you reach your permanent fourth density vibrational frequency, you will be able to interact more directly with those that are perceived as past or disincarnate humans, or ghosts, for lack of better terms. In that way, will they appear physical to you or not? This is highly dependent upon what level in vibration they are at. Only small percentages, less than 1%, can or will appear in a semi or mostly physical state to the human construct. The majority of human beings will not. The vibration of afterlife is not in a physical realm. It is between physical dimensional energies. For example, being a third density being, you are also known as fourth dimensional. And once you achieve a permanent fourth density, you then raise your vibrational level to fifth dimensional energy. All of those humans who have passed before the experience of the time in which the vibration had shifted in your 20 and 12 years are going between the third and fourth density. So instead of third density as a physical plane or fourth density as a physical plane, it is 3.1, 3.2, all the way until 4.0. Only 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, and 6.0 are physical realms. All of the other are semi-physical or non-physical. That energetic field of transmutation, of connecting and communicating, is always strengthened when your physical plane reaches the higher form. But as for ascension itself, it is a process, not step forward. No human being is frequently able to work between levels of vibrations of 3.0 and 4.0 density. One moment. So in this co-creation, you are dealing with multiple entities and energies, and they will become more easily accessible to you. But a physical co-creation will not be as possible. The density of 4, that is in the high 4 density, you are able to access the information in your telepathy in this moment because you and all human beings are already 4th density beings. It is the co-created collective consciousness that agrees to continue your 3rd density vibration. Once the entire Earth shifts, then all of the Earth will share that experience of that new 4th density. But until that moment, where the majority of consciousnesses tip the scale in order to shift physically, all of you will work energetically on a singular and individual level. There are many of you who have already experienced 4th density. There are many of you who have already experienced multidimensionality. Some of these side effects include the construct of knowing certain things without ever being told, your 6th sense sharpened to a degree in which it never has, the ability to see energies in your sky or in local space, such as orbs, such as lights or flickering figures of disembodied human beings, and seeing more frequently that experience. Thirdly, the slipping of your linear time, where you know that you have done something already, even though it is the first time you have done this, or feeling as if you have experienced midday before experiencing the morning. All of those small shifts can often come in moments at a time by feeling compressed versions of time, knowing that you have been awake for 2 hours, but it only felt as if it were 25 minutes, or feeling as if you have been awake for 2 hours and then it only was 25. Stretching, compressing of time energy is 4th density. The more that you dabble with the true nature of yourself, the more that you place yourself in that true vibration of what and who you are, the more of that 4th density you will and all shall experience. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Dippy.
Yes, of course.
So Aridif just drew Joey's name, and his question is for you too. So
Yes.
it's for Joey on here. And just so you guys know, those of you that are coming in, that are asking questions, we have a forum that you fill out beforehand, which is closed right now. That's just so they can draw the names, and so I don't lose sight in the chat room of the questions. But we will provide a link to the next one. I went ahead and made that for next month's open forum. So we'll provide that at the end of this so that you guys can go ahead and get your questions out for next month. So, it's Jossie. Okay, that's why I wasn't seeing Joey. Jossie, sorry about that. So Jossie, it has a question either for Treb or you, Aridif. So.
Yes, of course.
And Jossie says, I give permission for them to access my energy field. Am I an earth seed or a star seed? And any information you can give regarding that. Thanks so much and much love.
Yes, of course, we understand this idea, and linearly speaking, you are more a recent earth seed predecessed by the star seed energy. But in non-linear time, all of you are all of these things. In that linear sense, utilizing the example as Rob himself as one of the ancient earth seeds, one who has been incarnate before physical beings incarnated earth as elemental co-created collectives and worked through the cycle and incarnation cycle of the Khen, the very first inhabitants of earth. Then the entities that are known as Lumanians, then the Atlantean Lumerian, then the Earth Reptilian, and then the human construct. All of those energies Rob has been a part of. Those are different incarnation cycles within the larger Earth incarnation cycle. For you yourself, you have been involved in the Earth creation for over half of the Atlantean and Lumerian cycle and all of the human cycle. In that way, you are deeply seated within the earth vibrational energy. But you feel that pull that comes from your heart and mind towards the galactic energies. And this also has multiple reasons. Before incarnating in earth, you are what we call a roving incarnation cycle manager, exchange. And that means that every co-created collective consciousness that shift out percentages of their own overall collective consciousness, part of your energy would go and stay in that region until you desired a new move. There were times in which you had incarnated as Arcturian beings, as Syrian beings, as ancient Andromedan beings, and as many races in which hold no name to the earth vibration knowledge or awareness. And in all of those energies, you are only spending partial cycles, 10, 30, or 100 lifetimes in each of those races, some for even less, but the majority at least long enough to understand the experience. Imagine the earth as an entire consciousness. It is created from your 144,000 oversouls and 144,000 twin soul mechanisms. All of those fractalized into millions and trillions of different incarnations, most of them being first density, elemental energy, such as all fire, rock, electricity, etc. Second density from bacteria all the way to the greatest form of animal form, consciousness, in second density. And in third, human. But also fourth, fifth, and sixth density versions of humans. Add every one of those lifetimes that have ever been experienced from your first elemental to the highest form of density. And all of those are one earth consciousness. All of the oversouls connected are that energy. Now, in those scales of larger forms of collective, there is always energy that leaves the cycle and energy that creates or comes into that cycle. This is how you found your place in the Earth Collective. This is how many of you star seeds find your way into the Earth cycle. This is why your own energy was so fluid with that co-creation. But allow yourself the understanding to know that relative to the construct of this incarnation, all of those only matter to the degree in which you feel or believe that they can or will affect you. With that expressed, your past lives are connected to, but you do not affect the energy inside of yourself externally from those incarnations. In fact, you are the one who affects those previous and future incarnations from your now moment. We express this as the understanding that when you perceive the part of evolution in which you are, focusing on this life with the knowledge that you feel love for Earth, but deeply connected externally, that there are multiple reasons for this to occur, and most of them is due to the nature of how filled all of you are with the universe at large. We thank you for this. Yes, of course.
Okay, our next question is from Derek, and it doesn't specify whether the question is for you or Treb.
Yes.
So, I'm going to look for his question. There he is. So Derek says, with permission to connect to my energy, why is it so hard for me to make this shift into fourth density? I want that spiritual growth so much, but the resistance is so heavy that it renders me speechless when words need to be spoken. Can you please help, as I believe many of us are going through similar experiences? Thank you so much. Love, light, and connection.
Yes, first of all, this energy, along with great deals of human collectives and personally your own personal energy involved within expansion, is often first halted by that overstimulation of excitement. We do not mean that being too excited is harmful. We only mean that being so excited to enter that state of form and consciousness, opposed to the consciousness in where you are, places higher value in what you do not have. When you place that value in something that you feel you are not a part of, you are separating yourself from it first, and secondly, you are projecting as if this moment is not properly good enough for your experience. Now, we understand this is not the intention whatsoever. In fact, it is quite the opposite. You desire to feel more oneness. You desire to have more expansion within yourself and within the Earth Collective. But when you are looking at the terms of consciousness in the forms of black and white, you will find no grey spectrum to be within. And in order for you to experience that fourth density experience in the way that is longer or more permanent, you must first be at peace with where you are in the moment. This is what humans call that conundrum, the double-edged sword, the catch-22. It is the same with healing your physical body, the same with manifesting abundance in different forms. If you are unhappy with your vibration in this now moment, you are unhappy with yourself as a person, or you are unhappy with the situational co-creation, it will be hard to find that perfect energy to manifest what you desire in this now moment. Now, with that being expressed, fourth density is a process. This is why we do not say humans are fourth density beings, even though physically you are fourth density. Energetically and experientially, you are still third. And in that co-creative energy, it is quite the difference. You are in the third to fourth density transference stage. As a process, many races can complete a third to fourth density exchange within multiple lifetimes, less than 2 or 3. But many humans will experience much longer engagements. Humans come naturally in the Earth Collective with what you call high forms of natural resistances. And most of this is due to your belief systems, the way that you are taught, and the way that you co-create with one another. Once you let go of expectations of what an energy should be, once you let go of the expectations of how you will achieve certain practice, and once you place yourself solely in the excitement of the moment, more and more of you will see more and more of your fourth density experience. We give you the example of working with an energy in this specific state, and this state will allow you greater growth. The mental energy is always fixated and focused only on your now moment. We have always given example that you are 1 liter of water, and by looking at your past and seeing that all of the things that occurred caused resistance, you are throwing 1/4 of that liter into the past. When you worry about what tomorrow will bring, you are throwing 1/4 of that consciousness into the future. When you are not happy in the state you are in this moment, you are throwing 1/4 of the cord into the air, and what is left? Only 1/4 of the amount of all of your consciousness, and no manifestation can ever take place without the majority of yourself in that moment, in instantaneous ways. This is why you found that pre-2012, when the energetic markers started tipping towards the larger manifestation of ascension, most of you took months or years to manifest what you desired. After, it goes quicker, where years turn to months. In 2016, those months turned to weeks, and now those weeks to days or even hours. All of you are growing. All of you are working better in the vibration of what you are. But ascension itself is a process, and your own growth is a process. You can instantaneously transfer all of your consciousness into that fourth density, but most humans are not able to do so. It requires a complete removal or removing of the programming in the mental and emotional states of the human being. It requires complete change in the psychology of a human being, and it requires a great deal of transferring your life experience energy into new directions. And when we express that this is not impossible, we express that it can happen. But when we express that it should not happen for most of you, what we mean is you will find more growth in the step-by-step process, in learning how to be higher density, in learning how to be more expansive. If you were to do it all at once, the reason for most of you living would no longer hold the vibration of need. That means most of you would physically die and go to your next experience, because this life was meant for each human who lives here upon this earth in this moment to experience going from third density into the beginning portion of fourth density. And all of you are at the very first step of thousands of steps going towards higher dimensional energy. Those of you who are achieving fourth density inward and outward, one moment to the next, going back and forth, you already are aware of how difficult it is when you hold the vibration of fourth density too long and you are not ready for that moment. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course. We also suggest through Rob's own memory calls that there is...
Can you hold that higher so we can see you drawing? It's fun to see
Yes,
you drawing.
of course. There is a released co-creation of communication that has already occurred, with ourselves sharing ideas of ascension in fourth density energy. Rob is suggesting to Treb Bor Yit NE to suggest to us, to suggest to all of you, that ascension being an excitement for you, that each of you should look into this co-creation that we have shared.
Are you talking about a particular video that we shared some months back?
Yes, of course.
That was the one on the concept of the event that everybody took up.
Yes.
I can actually find that and post that for you guys in a bit.
Yes, of course.
Have quite a different concept of what that means than what is usually taught. All right, so our next question comes from Heather C, and it's for you, Aridif. So I'm
Yes.
looking for Heather's question. And I just wanted to tell you, I looked for Heather's question. Baby Lilith is wiggling around. It feels like she's trying to hear you more. So I feel like she's telling you hi in her own way, Aridif, and she's enjoying hearing you.
Yes, we understand, and we always give our own greetings to that baby Lilith as well.
Aww. She's so wiggly right now. Okay, so I found the question, and Heather says, my question is, why is it that I'm not losing weight? I eat very healthy, exercise hard regularly, yet the weight does not shift at all. I'm beginning to think that for me personally, it is more to do with it than just calories in versus calories out. I want to heal this, but I just don't know how anymore.
Yes, of course. First of all, as you are perceiving the idea of weight, exercise, etc., all of the things that your medical community in what most humans call or perceive Western medicinal society structure is not, in fact, in alignment with the greatest health or benefit for most of you. We do not mean that technology and certain medicinal energies are not useful or helpful. If you place great belief in certain medicines, they can be of great use for you as a tool to open physical healing so that emotional healing can occur. But within the dietary constructs, there's a great deal of misunderstandings with the nature in which it co-creates. First of all, there are multiple physical body types, and each of those archetypes hold different vibrational co-creation ability with different diets. There are few entities upon your Earth Collective that can have vegan diet foods for extended and long periods of time without having to shift outside, although consciously most humans believe this is the most humane and greatest vibrational diet that occurs. Some humans work within the ketogenic diet, and this works wonders for them, but there is also only a percentage of the Earth that can maintain that specific vibrational diet for long terms and periods. Each of your bodies change with the vibration of food that comes in to the physical body. First, your perspective on health and self-health must be looked at deeply. There are certain components in which you agree with your mind but disagree with your heart. There are others and parts of those beliefs that are within you before that see certain value in yourself and others as greater or less pending upon that scenario, meaning suggestion in all humans who worry or concern themselves with the physical health. The emotional health first must be addressed. The perspective that you have on yourself has to be looked at in a more deep way. Every human being, this is true. Every human that we have ever connected with has at very least some resistance in the heart and third chakra. Releasing as much of this energy as possible is important. Also looking at your first chakra, sense of safety within your physical body, and addressing those emotions as well. If you bypass the healing of the emotion and go straight to the physical portions of healing, it can make things better for a time, but will always revert back within co-creation of unhealthy physical structure. One tool that we have shared is the 10-step belief system process. By going through all 10 of those steps when you are confronted with what foods and diets are possibly able to co-create with you better or worse, by going through all of your mental and emotional discord, this energy is the greatest tool that we have shared that can be of high help and use. Also, we suggest utilizing the forms of placing time between your eating. If you place, and we are looking for the name, intermittently fasting with your physical body and only taking in certain percentage of the foods that you desire that hold high sugars or carbohydrates, then you will be able to burn through a great deal of excess that is stored cellularly. This is called a ketogenic diet with the constructs of low carbohydrates and sugars, and fasting between those energies. If you were to do this and only eat within a 4 to 6 hour period within your day and have high concentration of fat and low with sugar for 3 months, it would clear a great deal of the excess weight. Then you can reevaluate what body type your energy is starting to take form. Then it is possible to go in vegan diets. Then it is possible to go into vegetarian, or then it is possible to go in more centered and perhaps you would say it even forms of all of your food groupings. This can be utilized with your energy type and your body type, but working within the vibration first of emotional healing, we perceive as greatly important. Remind yourself, whatever beliefs that you have about foods that are good, diets that are good, or the humane nature of either eating or not eating certain energies, that all humans live on the Earth Collective, and the Earth Collective in and of itself is parasitic by nature. The air molecules that exist absorb certain energies of bacteria. Those bacteria become altered. They also absorb other forms of life and alter and change those. Then there are entities that are singular cells that eat smaller energies that are around them. And the cycle continues. All things must be absorbed, even in your plants. They absorb water, they absorb sunlight, and they often utilize the death of other beings to absorb nutrients. All things on Earth live in a parasitic relationship, but if you do not see the Earth as parasitic, if you do not see it as a scavenger fighting one another, if you see the value in all things equally exchanging energy, it can be much more tasteful for you, and this is no pun intended. We have spoken of this more deeply also, and will share more into the energy as we co-create further. But for you in this moment, simply going through your emotional, mental state and working in 10 steps with the 3-month period of exchange, that energy will hold a higher vibrational form for you until you are able to reset the body type energy. We thank you for this.
Thank you. I wanted to add to that too. As you guys know, Rob and I have had struggles with that, and with the weight and having tried all things, and I even tried 3 times being vegan, even being vegan up to a year, and it actually tore my health apart very, very, very badly, in a very bad way. So it broke. That's where the heart part comes in. That broke my heart very deeply, that it didn't work. And then we came upon the ketogenic diet and tried it, and it worked extremely well. We lost a lot of weight. We did it with intermittent fasting, and I really feel that's part of what made us fertile again. We dropped a lot of weight, and then we wanted pregnant. Of course, during my pregnancy, we kind of flew off of that a bit because I couldn't stand smelling meat during most of my pregnancy. So
we will express also that a ketogenic with the fasting construct is possibly good for most energetic body types for at least the first 3 months.
Yes.
But there are percentages of humans in which this will not work with it. In fact, it can make certain problems worse within it. It is always finding the balance within yourself and also placing the foods within your hand, placing the energy of that within your hand or area, and opening yourself to the sensation that it gives you, making sure that it is not your beliefs that dictate the response. Those of you who are vegan, by placing meat in your hand, you will automatically be sickened from that energy, but it is due to the nature of your beliefs. Once you allow yourself to release that belief, it can be positive, and perhaps certain vegetables would feel negative to your experience. It is only simply the vibration of the energy itself, and knowing that all of your indigenous ancestors worked within seeing an animal's life exchange as a great gift to them was what helped them allow themselves to enter a co-creational relationship with an animal that was not a negative or not a parasitic relationship. They believed that this animal's life was given for great cause, and the animal in that co-creation also perceived this.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, expanding, and definitely when
Yes,
I started
of course.
intermittent fasting was out. In fact, I have to eat every 2 hours, which I'm, believe it or not too fond about. But yeah, it's really amazing how much and that is definitely a wonderful thing, because and what you were saying about the parasitic, that's something that I expressed with you earlier, which is I see it as a parasitic symbiotic relationship here, and it was very upsetting concept to me at first, because here we are, we're all trying to ascend and find our own power and manifest, and yet we're feeding off of each other and not being very comfortable about it. And once I started to see it as symbiotic, that this is part of the evolution, right? We eventually go out of that needing to feed and actually be able to self-generate as full creators that we are. But for now, it's almost like if we see it less of being parasitic and try to see it as we're all lending a helping hand, you know what I mean? We're all kind of helping each other and supporting our experiences. Then that can be a more comforting way to look at it, whether we eat vegetables, meat, fruit, ask for time with a friend, because even just the time you spend is energy spent, right? So
yes,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you. And I know, guys, we went very deep into that, but I think that's just something that's so universal, whether it's food or time or whatever it is, we all are having to give energy away in some form or fashion. We do have our next question from Dark Star. So I already have the question for Dark Star. Dark Star says, I had a meetup with a reptilian being during meditation. I was not afraid or felt threatened. He did state he was only there to take a piece of my brain, and then we disconnected and came out of meditation. Is this a being that I am connected to benevolently? Thank you.
Yes, of course. Now, in terms of benevolency, it would depend upon your own definition. As we would perceive this entity, it is what we would call the mid-range type 2 variety. Type 2 that is included in the construct and definition that it does not fully see its own connection with oneness. But, as you are also aware, there are many that are type 2s who are deeply benevolent and deeply connected. This entity approximately in the 60 to 65% benevolency range. This entity was of a positive co-creative nature with you, does have affection for you, and did enjoy joking with you in the astral state energy. But as most of you know, reptilian energies are very proud and very large, and as their own energy is projected, they desire for you to see them in one form or another, in a jovial, joking way for those who are benevolent and trying to get reactions from you in certain benevolent forms, all the way to those that are malevolent, that only desire for you to fear them. As long as they are showing you their largeness of energy and their ability to show how large their energy can be, reptilians, whether in the most benevolent form or malevolent, are quite happy with themselves in that moment. That co-creation of yours is something that, if you desire to co-create and continue, there will be no parts of your physical brain taken, but you will share your mind with this entity. Thank you for this.
Thank you. I can definitely relate to that if you heard me laughing a little bit. By the way, before I share my thing, which race of reptilian is this? Is there a star system we can together?
Yes, of course. It is not a race that's name is known to humans, nor is it a star that has definition. But if you were to look in the Pisces constellation, you would perceive this star at approximately 3,000 light years away from the Earth in that direction, between the fifth and first brightest star of the Pisces constellation.
Nice. And as for me, for those of you that don't know, most people know of me as an Arcturian starseed, but really more of an adoption. I actually was Draconian before that, and I don't want to get too deeply into this story, but a portion of the consciousness of that Draconian broke out into a smaller fractal and experienced being on Earth and just changed this aspect. So I've got a larger counterpart that's Draconian. And years ago, I had a dream that felt very astral, and I was looking for Rob and Jeremy, and it was this big, almost, I don't know if it was a ship or a mall. It was just a large place, very crowded. And before that, I had gotten onto this kind of train station, subway kind of thing. And there was this guy in front of me that turned around. He's very slender. He turned around, and one of his eyes was reptilian, and I didn't have any fear. I was like, okay. It was fine. I was determined to find Rob and Jeremy. Jeremy is Rob's son. So as I was looking for him in this crowded place, once I got to my arrival, there were two men, but I knew they were these reptilians, and there was a little bit of nervousness. They started to turn around as they got closer to me, and all of a sudden I could feel like this mouth go to the back of my head and just like widen up and kind of start crunching the back of my head. And the teeth, I could just feel it going in, and weirdly enough, it was kind of pleasant. I know that sounds really bizarre. And I woke up laughing, and I couldn't understand why was that funny to me. And then Treb told me it was because of my connection with my Draconian family. They were finally able to really make a connection with me, and as weird and bizarre as it seems, that was actually a sign of affection. I'm wondering, Aridif, if this experience that Dark Star had, like you mentioned the word affection, if that is something that could be misconstrued by most, but it's actually a sign of affection. Because to me, I took it as kind of breaking open the crown chakra area, and just kind of the biting is kind of like it's an affectionate thing. It's kind of like hello, and then that part of me that recognized what that was felt that love is still there. Even though it seems very violent to most people, it was actually a beautiful experience. I'm wondering if there's any relation or correlation that Dark Star can get from that with this reptilian being.
Yes, of course. Reptilian beings in their co-creation and their introduction to all beings, not just human beings, but all beings, even other forms of reptilians, are always desiring to show you the largeness of their own energy. So if they were to scare you, that would show you their own largeness or dominance over you. But for most of you who either have reptilian connections or who have reptilian energy deeply in your field, you often subconsciously or unconsciously innately understand and are not reactant in fear. Most of you who find a reptilian being coming to you in some form of semi to fully aggressive manner often know that this is only posturing. It is only their way of saying hello to you. And if you stand deeply in your own energy, if you show them that you are not fearful, they will respect you for that understanding. They will prove to you, as you have proved to them, that you are worthy of co-creating without a dominant attitude being needed for that co-creation.
Yeah, it definitely deepened my experience, not being afraid of that and just allowing that. Oh, by the way,
Yes.
CW just entered the room, so if you want to tell Treb, well, because a lot of you guys might not know this, but when when most of the time when Rob was channeling, he astral projects out, and of course Treb is able to split up his consciousness, so he actually spends time with Treb, so he's kicking it there. So
Yes.
CW in the house, so I know Rob will say hi.
Rob has expressed his own greetings as we express our greetings, not only to Benjamin, but also many other beings within co-creation.
Yes. All right, so next question is from Patty, and it's for you or Treb. And Patty says, why are so many of the pyramid steps so big?
Yes, of course. This is the natural energetic form in which the structure holds its own self. If it were to be made in smaller energies, it would not have been useful to hold its own vibration. Most humans are not aware, but the sides of the pyramids were not always in the jagged stepping form. They were very smooth construct, and we are speaking of the pyramids in Giza. Other pyramids with large steps also done for the structural construct of energy. It also had been necessary for the entities who first devised and helped co-create that energy with others, that it was forms of large stones in one piece. This was to show those humans in the future who could not connect with their higher self or could not connect to their guides, that this energy was a creation of the higher dimensional human focus in co-creative energy, as well as extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
That's always been a question on my mind.
What amount of queries are remaining?
Well, I don't know how. I'd have to count what's in the 10 box.
We are speaking of time involved, yes.
It's 9:53, and Rob said we'll go till 10:15, so we've got some time.
Yes, the 3 queries that are remaining.
Okay. Our next question is from Lisa for you. So we'll look for Lisa's question on here. It must be toward the bottom. Yeah. There it is. Greetings, Aridif. This is Lisa. If you were human on Earth now, what would be your excitement? How would you go about living as an Earth human? Much love.
Yes, greetings also. First of all, we have been human on Earth before, and his excitement is to work with us in this moment. In that way, we have perceived our past incarnations in the way of Rob's own personal experience. In that form, we understand that you do not mean in this way directly. So, if you were to look at the construct of our own consciousness in the form that it is now, and placed inside of the human form without constriction on our forms and amounts of consciousness, we would work highly in your scientific community in order to benefit the growth and understanding of all human beings. After this was achieved, and communication with those that lived outside of Earth had already taken place, then we would retire to let other beings work within that construct, and we would go through the traveling of the entire world in as many places as possible for that moment. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
We're getting some new people, which I want to welcome, but I also want to let you guys know as far as the questions go, we're not taking questions from chat. The way we do it is we have a Google form that we have you send your questions to before the event. So once the event starts, we don't take questions, but before the end of this, I'll give you guys a link to next month's free open forum, so then you guys can get your questions in before the end of the night. So okay, so our next question comes from Joseph. And so I will look for that question. Okay, so Joseph says, for Treb or Aridif, Could you offer us some ways to tap into our body's wisdom? For instance, if we are deficient in vitamins, minerals, etc., how can we effectively receive communication to restore balance and health? Obviously, you are all loved.
Yes, of course. Not only are you loved, but we love you as well. First of all, your body, heart, soul, consciousness, and energetic forms are already related deeply to one another. Your intuition allows the signaling of this to occur within yourselves. The only problem that most humans face when trying to access this part of their intuition is the lack of trust in oneself. When you see a woman in Kalina's position who has a child within them, there are often cravings that are thought of to be weird. These cravings are often things in which are not natural to the dietary habits of the being who is ingesting that construct, but they are listening to their body. The child consciousness embedded within them amplifies what is needed for their body as well as the mother's body and the energetic co-creation. Naturally, all of you can crave only what you desire to eat, and with an understanding that if you listen to your body, only eating when it is hungry, only eating what feels positive to eat, then all of you will be in perfect health. You will receive the perfect vitamins, nutrients, etc. But most of you have different beliefs that discourage that energy. Most of you do not perceive the ability for you to place an apple in your hand, to close your eyes and ask one simple question when you feel yourself actually hungry, and say, will this apple bring joy to my experience? If the answer is no, your body is not in need of that apple. With your body being hungry, placing that in your hand, will this energy bring me joy? Now, we must also express that joy and happiness in this way are different. The term joy is an energetic understanding that when you take this energy in, it will be a positive overall experience. When you are happy about food, it can be foods that are not positive or good. Thinking of foods that are junk foods, such as donuts created with several ounces of sugar. This can taste good, but if you hold in your hand and it does not bring you true joy, only the thought of temporary joy, then it is not something your body needs. Most of you know that after eating several donuts, you will feel tired, or feel ups and downs, or feel bad afterwards for 1 hour, multiple hours. This is not joy, it is only momentary happiness. Bring you joy in an everlasting way must be the designated question for that energy. One moment, we will hydrate and continue. Those of you who have addictions for foods, if you are able only to eat when your body is hungry and stop eating when it is not, most of your addiction will dissipate. By understanding that the emotional complex of reflexive eating is not what we are speaking of. We are speaking of simply allowing the body to be that signal. Your natural attunement is to work with perfect health. There are other forms of meditation. One of these is suggested working with your higher self in the most direct manner. That is simply going into that deepened state of neutralization, one that we have shared previously with the Earth Collective. After completely neutralizing, expressing directly to your higher self, should I eat this food, yes or no? And you will receive that instant yes or no answer. Follow that advice. Continue doing it, and it will show you how accurate your own connection to that higher self is. But if you were to trust the energy and know that you will always receive the right answer, the probability of that being the correct answer is exponentially higher. We are pulling for the last query in this evening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Deputy.
Yes, of course. We will hydrate as you ask this last query.
Okay. So our last question comes from Ashley. Let me find Ashley's question. There it is. It's toward the bottom. All right. So, hello, Aridif. This is Ashley. I was wondering if the Hobus beings who have visited me have any new messages for me. Thanks, and I love you.
Yes, first of all, greetings. Secondly, the only new messages that are in co-creator for your co-creation with the entities is that in your sleep state, communication is trying to be widened and is trying to be over-connected to your mental conscious self. And the first way for that to occur within your co-creation is working on methods in which to remember your dream state in. Knowing that your dream state is a key to opening the higher dimensional self and vibrational self will be of high use to you, but practicing that energy every evening can be of great use. Now we understand there is already understandings with this, but the personal messages are more so set in alignment with yourself and these entities after you make your more personalized and direct contact. Their desire to co-create with you in that way is of their highest excitement as well as yours, which means in our own perspective, as long as you do not perceive yourself as failing, you do not perceive yourself as unworthy of creating with that energy, the speed in which both of you can connect is quite high. The probability and possibility of that experience also in high percentages. Placing one simple instruction before going into sleep state and premeditating before that instruction, grounding your energy as you are laying down to sleep. The one instruction being, I will take all of my co-creations that are of extreme value back into my conscious state in which I am awake. We thank you for this.
Thank you, Arda.
Yes, of course.
It's not quite 10:15 yet. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple things real quick.
Yes, we will take one last query from yourself, Kalina.
Okay. Well, this is on behalf. This is kind of a two-part. They're somewhat related and yet not. And they're actually based on what I've been reading throughout. So it'll cover a bunch of people's questions throughout. So one of them has to do with is polygamy and polyamory common in the galaxy and the universe? And the other thing, if you're willing to get into it, is there's been a lot of hubbub lately in the collective about the concept of twin flames. I've just been seeing it pop up everywhere. So I was wondering if you could talk about these if you have the time.
Yes, of course. First of all, the polyamorous form and relationship is in fact highly spread throughout the galactic collective consciousness, mostly in those that are in third, fourth, fifth density vibrationally and hold smaller forms of resistance. Humans are not the only race that only work with one mate. Treb Bor Yit NE's race, after finding one mate, connect, but they are not sexually engaging with one another. Birth happens in a much different way, where genetics are shared and raised in an egg form through scientific means. Even that form still holds that the masculine male form and feminine female form living together as a couple and staying in that one energy. This energy is completely open to the interpretation of individuals. Earth, in its own expression, as we've expressed previously, has very open energies that are involved, yes, there are marriages and co-creations of dual coupling. And in that energy, there are also breakings of that energy, what humans call cheating on one another. There are also polyamorous relationship styles and versions. In our own perspective, polyamory can only occur once the ideal of energy, of personality and persons in singular pointage is not being outweighed by your ability to love multiple energies and entities at once. In our own understanding, culture, and co-creation, if there are sexual energies that are exchanged with other beings, it only comes as an extension of our natural appreciation and deep love for that being. Meaning that if there are 500 beings that exist on our planet in which we co-create high forms of love and high forms of connection, then having 500 sexual partners would not be unheard of. In that same form, there are those who only desire one or two beings. This is strictly a personal energetic exchange. Sexuality in human form is an animalistic version of sexuality. Most humans are still only utilizing sexual engagement as copulation for the rebirthing of the next generation. Although there is love and sexuality involved, when your genetics were jumped forward by the Anunnaki and not allowed your natural transition from second to third dynasty, it did cause misalignments. After religion became a deep part of your Earth Collective that said sexuality is negative, it also added other layers of resistance. Now, in Earth Collective, it is opening. And within 200 years, we perceive polyamory will be the majority of sexualness in the Earth Collective consciousness. One moment we'll hydrate and quickly speak of the twin flame. As the understanding of twin flame exists within the Earth Collective, the majority of humans believe that twin flames are identical portions of consciousness given in either the same sex or opposite sex of what they are in order to ignite a co-creative coupling of entities. The majority of human beings perceive that traditional form of one masculine and one feminine. But those whose sexual orientation takes them towards same sex do have that belief that it is also another person in their own construct in order to co-create perfect, loving, and harmonious relationships with. This is not the way we perceive the twin flame construct. How we define twin flame is an entity that exists within your oversoul that has spectral vibrational thumbprint, for lack of better terms, that is nearly identical to yours, meaning that one entity from the oversoul in your time space that is almost identical in their under-energetic imprints, meaning that they are built in a certain way. And we do not mean physically, and we do not mean mentally and emotionally. We are speaking energetically only. The reason we do not express the terms when human beings have asked the question, do I have a twin flame? We will always tell them, yes, you have one, but we will never tell you who that entity is. Most humans believe that their twin flame will be the perfect relationship, when in many cases, because you are so energetically connected and similar, if you do not love yourself, you cannot love that entity. And you will put your energy into something that will fail in that way quite miserably. It can only be when both entities love themselves that a relationship with one and their twin flame can occur. On the other page of energy, there are hundreds to thousands of soulmates for each and every one of you. And those soulmates can be your perfect relationship, even if you are halfway involved in the energy of healing the love for yourself. You can find a soulmate who matches, and both of you make each other better for that energy. Or you can find several soulmates, some in the forms of lovers, others in family and friends, others in animals that are around you. And your relationship with them alone grows both of you. Relationship in that co-creation does not always need to be experienced by a soulmate, but most frequently they are. And that is because you are drawing near to you what you desire to co-create with. And most entities know their soulmates once they see them. If we were to tell you one soulmate is a twin flame while all of the rest are not, you would fixate so deeply on trying to gain access with that relationship in where the place in which you are may benefit much more greatly from 1 or 10 of the other soulmates in co-creation.
Yes, and counterparts. When you have the fractals splitting into different lives, whether you're talking about linear time or just like you know what I mean by the counterpart, right? Isn't that kind of like other people's perceptions of the twin flame? Not talking about your definition of what you usually use the definition of twin flame, but aren't counterparts kind of like what you mean by that, like that division of the fractal self or the growth of, like, say, in the future? I don't know if I'm making sense.
We understand the question, but the answer is no. Our own standard identification for that energy are two entities that are two separate fractal consciousnesses. Yes, they often do come from the same source energy and can come in that way as fractalizations of larger consciousnesses broken down, but the energetic entity onto themselves is always divisible within the oversoul as its own independent construct of consciousness. In that way, the way that most humans perceive is that they are split apart during incarnation. This is not true. No consciousness is divided in half for the sole purpose of having twin flames. Twin flame are natural phenomenon that occurs within an oversoul that hosts several hundred thousands to several tens of millions of human incarnations each. With that large of a number, it is a natural occurrence for that energy. Most of you have one twin flame within the Earth Collective. Some of you will not until later times or never in this incarnation. But in our perspective, it does not matter, because that is not the person who will save you. That is not the person who will complete or fulfill you. We thank you for this.
Thank you.
We wish to hydrate before expressing our dues for this evening.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Thanks for that.
Yes, of course.
I definitely share with you the agreement that soulmates are absolutely as valid as a twin flame,
Yes, of course, in our own perspective and as well as our own interactions with other humans. Before disconnecting this evening, we wish to express to all of you the same sentiment as we began, that in this co-creation you have had answers to your questions that you have never perceived before, answers to energies in which partially you have perceived. And because we are one, this gives us our own opportunity to perceive the energy of our own selves that we have yet to look at, and our own energies that we have yet to set eyes upon. This means you are growing as we grow. We thank you for your growth. We congratulate you for your growth. And we thank you for ours.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Thank you for being here, both to you and Treb. We love you guys very much, and we look forward to seeing you guys again at the Free Open Forum next month.
Yes. And Treb Bor Yit NE wishes to express that he leaves you all in love and light, and will experience all of you again at the very soon time. We bid you adieu for this evening. You are loved.
Love you, Debbie. Hi, baby. Welcome back.
Hey, gonna go.
It went awesome. It really did.
All right.
And
Everybody who's still here, hang on just for a minute. I am going to step off to the restroom for a second.
And while you do that,
but I'm gonna be right back, and we'll get to talk first.
Yeah, we're not gonna like close up just quite yet. I did create a link for next month's free open forums.
Oh,
There's
good.
so many questions coming in, and I was like, okay, just to make sure you guys don't miss the link.
Well, that's good because I'd like to talk about that too when we get back. If you can share with them kind of the rules and regulations that we've
I'll do
got,
that.
that'd be great.
Okay, the rules and regulations, like Rob said. So basically, because as you guys know in the chat, when you ask questions, the questions can get lost when we're flying through. And also, we like to have them draw the names, so it gives you guys a chance to kind of practice your manifestations. So what I do, or what we do, is we create a Google form every month so that you can actually send your questions to them. When I say questions, I actually mean one question per person. And you don't want to do questions within questions because those will get thrown out. And the reason we do that is we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance, a higher probability of their name getting drawn and being able to have a question. So that burning question that's inside of you. So I'm going to post the link in just a second here, or just a minute here. So really think if this is really the question you want to ask, or if you want to wait, just copy down the link. But I think Rob is going to have a page scheduled where you can always get a hold of that link. So, but I'm going to post it here. And if you don't see it or you lose it, it will always be in the chat. And I'll make sure that Rob puts it in the description also so that you guys can have that. Because we will be back in May to do the free open forum questions. So we say we want to try and do this monthly. I imagine there's a possibility that if our baby doesn't come early, that we probably won't have, we may not have an open forum in July, but it's only because I'm going to be popping out a baby, and I don't know her schedule yet, so we'll have to figure out what that's like. So here we go.
Okay. Did you just copy the event thing?
The event? What do you mean? Yes, I did. Oh, you mean the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already did that.
Well, I just saw that up. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I did. Oh, you mean, Treb, Treb was, no, it was Aridif said to share that.
Okay. Yeah, it's already public. One thing too about that video, guys, that was a Patreon poll video.
Let's do one thing at a time. 1 second. I don't want them to get confused about what.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Let's do the questions first. So here's the link. I'm gonna post it right now. So when Rob came out, I think he thought I was talking about the event because I was flipping through the tabs trying to figure out where the link was. So that's the link to the free open forum. I'm gonna click on it and make sure. Yep, that's for the May 2019. So one question per person. No questions within questions. So just really think about what your burning question is for next month. And I would hold off on asking a question if you're the kind of person who's constantly kind of growing and changing and you tend to manifest your answers quickly anyway. I would wait because we don't take them in the order that they come anymore. That's one of the reasons we do the drawings so that you can practice that manifestation. So I take all your names, I write them down, I cut them up, and we put them in a tin can for Treb or Aridif to draw the name out. So you don't have to worry about the time in which, but I do close down the forms about 15 minutes before the event starts. That's just so I have enough time to write down names, cut them up, and put them into a tin can. So
also, I suggest to go back and read the paragraph in the description of the last open when it says, "Hey everyone, the open forum's coming," because that really gives you the whole idea. It's a long paragraph.
Where do they find that?
On the link of the last video that's entitled "The Open Forum's Coming" or whatever it's called.
We can do that. We can put that in the description.
Okay, well, then I'll do that. But please read that for whoever's watching because Kalina mentioned everything, but like putting your name first, saying who it's going to be for, all those things are important. And if you're just guessing on that and like I said, we had to throw a couple questions out today, and I just don't want to do that to anybody.
And it's your name or pseudonym, guys, in case you're uncomfortable with.
I just don't want no one to miss out on having their questions answered. So
yeah, and the reason I say put your name first is because I have to scan through all the questions. It just helps me find the question faster, which means I can get more questions answered. So, but yeah, what else? Oh, now we can go into the event thing. So I'll share that again. Aridif mentioned that earlier, and that was another theme throughout the questions. A lot of questions about ascension.
Okay. Well, that's a good video then.
Yeah.
One thing too I wanted to say about that video, when she pulled it up, it reminded me that that's a Patreon video that we do every month.
We released, yeah.
Right, we released it because it was important. But the reason I bring that up is because the Patreon portal has one subject a month that everybody gets to suggest, and then we vote on, and then we do a channeling just like this, but with a smaller group of people, with 40 or 50 people. And usually only about 15 or 20 questions. So if you guys haven't been on Patreon, check it out, because Patreon's pretty cool. And thank you guys. I see everybody talking about the baby. I see your comment too, Tasha. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody who's talked about the baby and sent love to the baby and to us.
For anybody who didn't know or didn't see the gender reveal video, which obviously we blew it now. Sorry. Having a baby girl, and her name is going to be Lilith Satori Gauthier. So very strong presence. I'm going to spell the name for you guys so you can see it.
And you can go check out the video too. The reveal was cool. So cool. Cool.
Yeah, the reveal, the way so I woke up in the middle of the night and it just came to me. So I don't even think it was really my idea. I think it was kind of like some guide of mine must have thought it was cute, and I thought it was cute, but it was basically an Easter egg hunt, which we actually did this back in February, I think, right? Toward the end of February. So it's deceptive because we released it really close to Easter, but we don't exactly celebrate Easter in that Easter way. But we have Lilith. I'm sure we're gonna have Easter egg hunts.
We haven't celebrated Easter that way for a while. So
yeah.
That's really weird.
What happened?
My Google account got signed out of, which is really weird.
It's a good thing you were signed in on the other one.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it didn't go down. Yeah, so many weird things were happening. Someone was trying to like your video earlier, and then the like would disappear. And that happened to me earlier today, too. Because I always give Rob a like. What can I say? I like him. So, and that
YouTube's messing up with stuff lately, guys.
Right, yeah, and I was like, okay. And so I was joking. Maybe you're in trouble with them because,
I've been speaking out about their censorship, and also I'm going to be doing the interview on Finn Castle Underground in 2 days, actually on my son's birthday, because he's at his mom's, and I can't see him on that day. So that video will be out on the 22nd, which is, I think, Monday, about censorship on the Finn Castle Underground video.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate all the thanks and the love. You guys being here, commenting, liking, subscribing, being a part of this experience, asking questions, that's huge. That's a big energy share for us, and we really appreciate it.
And we're going to be doing a lot more. And also when the baby's born, we'll find a backup person in case Lily's ever needing a little more time with
We're going to get someone who can take Kalina's place if need be to cite through the questions and ask live on air. We already have a few people who are already experiencing it that we're thinking about, but we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop, and we're going to keep this energy going straight through. So please, by all means, guys, send us your love, connect with us, tell us what you're doing, tell us how things are going. And share your comments and ideas below. Anything else? I'm going to jump off soon because I've got to eat and ground myself.
Yeah. Well, I'm good. We love you guys very, very much. And if you didn't know before, their weekly Galactic
Weekly Galactic Channeling.
Like, I got pregnancy brain. I almost said weekly galactic monthly channeling. Weekly galactic channelings. So we're going to be shooting the next ones soon.
And Tasha's tube Tasha is someone that I've known for many years, almost probably 9 or 10 years now. She just said that tomorrow on her channel she's going to be reading from the book, and I think is it the Galactic Human book or the Treb book, the Reptilian Human Hybrid? Because she does read those books on her channel too, to share that, and that's awesome for you guys who haven't checked out the books. So either way, she's doing hers tomorrow, guys. She's right in the chat, so if you click on her channel, you'll be able to see that. And then I'm going to be, the Galactic Humans, which is 12 different races from the galaxy that are humanoid that did with Jefferson Viscardi and me co-authored it. So thank you, Tasha, for that. I appreciate it.
We should do. I was just thinking of this. I know you got to jump off. I'll just say it real quick. I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. You remember the concept of show and tell the little kids do?
Yes. Yes.
I was thinking it'd be cool, like at the end, not like during, so because it can get distracting, but at the end when we're talking, like just shooting the shit after, that people could have like, like whatever they're doing, if they're a healer or whatever, they have a YouTube channel, they can share that. Or if people have seen a particular video, we allow them to put that link, because it's like, our community is just, it gives us a chance to share and also have that freedom of speech. So anything that might be buried, so
we did that in the channel panel when you had everyone stand up and share a little bit after the 2015. That was wonderful.
So guys, right now, if you have, we'll call it like a show and tell. So anytime after we're done, I'm going to try to remember this. Help me remember this. Just share, like if you have a link or like some kind of a business or whatever at the end of each channeling, feel free to share, or if you're YouTube content or you have any kind of content, or you just saw some kind of video or article that you feel is really important for the collective to see, then just go ahead and share it, the link.
Yes.
We'll allow it through.
That's a good idea. So, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so as long as this chat's still working, I know it lets us have a few minutes after he signs out, but...
Well, I can mute the microphone and the camera down for 2 minutes and let everybody, and then the chat will continue afterwards.
So whatever you guys want to share, I know William, Fincastle Underground, you can share your CW. If you're still on here, you can share...
CW came too? Yes, it did. Yes, Treb told me.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you guys are there, CW, I've got an interview on his channel that I did that was really great. Finn Castle is another one too. So check out CW. The interview that we did was great, and his channel is great too. He's always passionate about sharing his ideas too. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get off. I'm going to shut the mic and the camera down for about 2 minutes. Let you guys share those links, like Kalina was talking about. Share anything that you want to share.
Like a show and tell.
Yeah, show and tell time. And we love you guys. And the next Galactic weekly video should be up next Saturday. And we'll be doing some live stream for all of you who are in our Patreon. Got 2 of those coming next Friday, I think, right? Friday or...
Oh,
the live stream.
Patreon, yeah. I forgot to mention Casey. I was just sorry. I was thinking,
yeah, Casey too. Well, our Patreon videos, we're going to do live streams of those, but you guys will get the other one too.
Friday and Saturday, right?
I think it's all on one day, Friday. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off. I love you guys. Enjoy sharing on the show and tell, and we love you guys very, very much.
Don't see anybody yet, but
share as many links to your guys' own channels, to any videos, books, anything that you guys like.
Anytime you say show and tell, and if you have a channel, we suggest that you do the same. Just obviously not throughout the whole thing, but at the
end of each,
because then everybody
live stream.
Anybody who scrolls through the chat later, because I don't know if you guys know this, but they have chat replay now. Yep,
you can see everything in the chat.
Find, and so we can communicate with each other. It's kind of like a forum-ish
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea,
Yeah.
guys. All right, I'm jumping off, guys. I love you all very, very much. Thank all of you guys for being here. You guys are great. And thanks for everyone who's sharing their energy with us. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Love you guys.
Love you
See you
guys.
soon.
Bye.
And we'll be up for 2 more minutes, and then Rob will close.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Night.
Night.